By February, 92% of people have already abandoned those resolutions. That's not a willpower problem. That's a ritual completion problem. December doesn't just end. Your emotional field collapses. Your identity gets reset to factory settings. You're disoriented. You're exhausted. And in that disoriented, exhausted state, you're highly suggestible. Which is why January is when they sell you the next program. The diet plans, the gym memberships, the self-improvement courses, the productivity apps. You're told you're not enough. But if you buy this thing, follow this plan, adopt this system, you can become who you're supposed to be. And you believe it. Because you just came out of a massive ritual that rewrote your subconscious. You're operating on autopilot. Your critical thinking hasn't fully come back online yet. So you buy in, you commit. And then by March, you're done. The energy's gone. The motivation disappeared. You're back to your baseline, wondering what happened. What happened is you tried to run a marathon immediately. After running a different marathon, you didn't even know you were running. January isn't a fresh start. January is post-ritual collapse. And the reason New Year's resolutions fail isn't because you're weak. It's because you're trying to start something new when you haven't recovered from what just ended. The system is designed this way. They need December to drain you, so January can sell to you. It's a cycle. And most people never see it, because they're inside it. All right? So now that you see the mechanism, now that you understand how this works, what do you do about it? Because here's the thing. You can't escape Christmas. It's everywhere. It's in the music, the decorations, the commercials, the conversations. You can't just opt out entirely without socially isolating yourself. And I'm not suggesting you become a hermit in December. What I'm suggesting is conscious participation, awareness instead of autopilot, choice instead of compulsion. So here's what you do. Starting right now, before December even begins, you implement the December Awareness Protocol. Here's how it works. When nostalgia hits, when you feel that warm emotional pull, don't immediately act on it. Pause. Take 3 breaths and say out loud or in your head, nostalgia trigger. That's it. You're not suppressing it. You're not fighting it. You're just naming it, labeling it, creating space between the feeling and your response. When guilt arises, when you feel like you should buy something, do something, be somewhere, same thing. Pause. 3 breaths. Guilt programming. When generosity feels compulsive, when you're about to spend money you don't have on something you don't really want to give, pause. 3 breaths. Is this mine, or is this ritual? Naming breaks the spell. Rituals work through unconscious participation. The moment you label what's happening, you step outside the automatic response. You create awareness. And awareness is power. You're not rejecting the emotions. You're not pretending they don't exist. You're just seeing them clearly. And once you see them, they lose their grip. Because here's what I noticed when I started doing this. Most of the emotions I thought were mine weren't actually mine. They were triggered by external symbols. Christmas music in a store, lights on a neighbor's house, a commercial showing a family reunion. The emotion would hit, and I'd think it was coming from inside me. But it wasn't. It was a response to a stimulus designed to trigger that exact emotion. Once I started naming it, nostalgia trigger, guilt programming, compulsion. The emotions stopped feeling overwhelming. They were just sensations, and sensations pass. So that's practice 1, awareness, observation without absorption. Practice 2 is symbol fasting. And this one's going to sound extreme, but hear me out. Limit your exposure to Christmas symbols. Not completely. Not to the point where you're miserable, but intentionally, strategically. Here's what I mean. Christmas music is designed to trigger emotional responses. The same songs, the same melodies, the same lyrics year after year. They're encoding the ritual into your nervous system through repetition. So instead of passively absorbing every Christmas song that plays everywhere you go, choose 1 or 2 songs you actually enjoy. Songs that feel meaningful to you. And listen to those. Let yourself have them. But mute the rest. Skip the radio stations playing non-stop Christmas music. Turn off the TV when commercials get heavy in December. Walk through stores quickly instead of lingering in the decorated sections. You're not avoiding Christmas. You're reducing the repetitive symbolic reinforcement. Same with decorations. If you genuinely love putting up a tree, put up a tree. If it brings you joy, do it. But don't do it because you feel like you have to. Don't decorate just to meet expectations or because everyone else is doing it. Choose 1 to 3 symbols that actually mean something to you. Let those be your Christmas. Don't drown yourself in 1,000 symbols that are just reinforcing patterns you didn't choose. Because here's what happens when you reduce exposure. You get space, mental space, emotional space. You stop being constantly triggered. You stop running on autopilot. And what you'll notice is you feel calmer, more grounded, less compelled. You're not missing out. You're just not being programmed as intensely. Practice 3 is the conscious giving reset. And this one might make some people uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Before you buy anything in December, before you give anything, before you commit to anything, pause. Ask yourself this question. Do I want to do this? Or do I feel like I have to? If the answer is, I feel like I have to, don't do it. I know that sounds harsh. I know it might create conflict, but here's the reality. Guilt-driven giving depletes you. It drains your energy. It reinforces the pattern of obligation over authenticity. Giving from obligation isn't generosity. It's tribute. It's you participating in a system that extracts your resources in exchange for social acceptance. Real generosity feels light. It feels easy. You want to give. There's no guilt, no pressure, no internal conflict. You're giving because it aligns with who you are, not because you're trying to prove you're a good person. So this December, give intentionally. 1 meaningful gift instead of 10 obligatory ones. And if people push back, if they make you feel guilty for not participating the way they expect, here's your script. This year, I'm being more intentional with my energy and resources. I'm focusing on meaningful connection over material exchange. That's it. You don't owe anyone more explanation than that. You're not being selfish. You're being honest. And most people will respect that more than you think. What you'll notice when you start doing this is how much lighter you feel, how much more present you are, how much energy you have left after December instead of being completely drained. Practice 4 is the solstice identity check-in. And this is where you reclaim the ritual for yourself. On December 21st, the actual winter solstice, sit in darkness for 10 minutes. No phone, no distractions, just you and the dark. And in that darkness, ask yourself, who do I want to become in the next cycle? Not what do I want to achieve? Not what are my goals? Who do I want to become? What version of myself do I want to embody? And write down 3 identity statements. Not goals, not resolutions, identity. For example, I am someone who protects my energy. I am someone who gives from overflow, not obligation. I am someone who participates consciously instead of automatically. Identity statements are more powerful than goals because they change how you operate at the core. Goals are about doing. Identity is about being. When you write these on the solstice, you're using that threshold energy consciously. You're creating your own reset instead of letting the collective ritual reset you. And here's why this works. The solstice is still a powerful moment. It's still a turning point. The light still returns. But instead of unconsciously absorbing the collective programming, you're making your own meaning. You're deciding who you are instead of letting the ritual decide for you. You're not resisting Christmas. You're redirecting it. You're using the same threshold energy for your own transformation instead of letting it be used on you. Practice 5 is the January timeline lock. And this is how you protect yourself from the post-ritual programming. January 1st through 3rd, revisit your solstice identity statements. Read them, feel them, reconnect with who you decided to become. And then create one simple daily practice that reinforces that identity. Not a massive overhaul, not a total transformation. One small thing. If your identity statement is, "I am someone who protects my energy," your practice might be, "I check in with myself twice a day and ask if my energy is mine or if I'm leaking it." If your identity statement is, "I am someone who gives from overflow," your practice might be, "I only say yes to requests when I genuinely have the energy to follow through." One practice, one reinforcement, daily. And here's the critical part. Avoid all New Year, New You content. All of it. Don't watch the videos. Don't read the articles. Don't buy the programs. All of that content is designed to make you feel inadequate, so you'll buy solutions to problems you didn't have before they told you that you did. You already decided who you're becoming. On the solstice, you locked your timeline before the collective programming intensified. Now you just reinforce it through your daily practice. What you'll notice in January is how stable you feel compared to previous years. How immune you are to the should messaging. How little you care about typical New Year's chaos. You're operating from your own frequency instead of absorbing the collective frequency. And that's freedom. So let me bring this all together, because here's what you now understand that most people never see. You didn't lose your power in December. You gave it away unconsciously. You participated in a ritual you never chose. You were activated by symbols you never decoded. You ran emotional patterns you never questioned. And now you see it. You see the solstice timing. You see the pagan origins. You see how Saturnalia became Christmas. You see the symbol system, the trees, the lights, the red and green, the gifts, the surveillance archetype of Santa. You see how memory is the real gateway, how childhood imprints get reactivated every year. You see how collective emotion creates field effects that shape reality. You see the economic extraction. You see the social control. You see the January reset that's designed to sell you the next program. You can't unsee this now. Every December from now on, you're going to notice the patterns. You're going to feel the triggers. You're going to watch other people unconsciously participate in real time. And you're going to choose. Not resistance, not rejection, choice. You can still enjoy December. You can still appreciate the lights and the music and the connection. But now you're doing it consciously. You're participating because you choose to, not because you're compelled to. You're giving from genuine desire, not guilt. You're connecting from authenticity, not obligation. Christmas doesn't control reality. Unconscious participation does. Rituals only work when you don't know you're inside them. Now, you know. And here's what that means going forward. You get to decide what December means to you. You get to choose which traditions serve you and which ones don't. You get to participate without surrendering your energy. You get to use the seasonal threshold consciously instead of being used by it. The elite don't avoid Christmas. They participate with full awareness. They understand the mechanism. They use the collective energy surge without being drained by it. Now you can too. Let what you heard settle before you try to turn it into a new program. The point is not to win an argument about holidays. The point is to notice what you consent to and how that consent shapes your inner state. Choose one practice from the transmission and live it for a week. Not as a performance, as a private return to sovereignty. If you want structure for integration, there is an optional workbook available that turns the practices into a daily process. Reflection, rewiring, and real-world implementation. Come back to this when the pressure rises. Not to resist, to remember. Thank you for listening. You're about to listen to You Planned This Life, the blueprint you forgot. This work is for those who have always felt that their life carries intention beyond chance. For those who sense that certain patterns, skills, encounters, and challenges were not random, but designed. This is not a belief system and not a comfort narrative. It is an exploration of pre-birth planning, soul memory, and the mechanisms through which lives diverge from their original design. What follows lays out the ancient witnesses, the structure of the blueprint, the reasons it was forgotten, and the precise ways souls drift off course after incarnation. You will also be guided through the protocols used for course correction, not to escape this life, but to realign with what you chose before entering it. If you want to return to this transmission on your own time, or go deeper with the companion workbook, you can access both through the Service Plus icon below. It's the orange square with the white triangle at the bottom, or through the link in the bio. Once you're on audiobooks, workbooks, full archive, and explore more. That's where you'll find discount codes. You can stream the audiobooks and workbooks on the site, or download them directly. Listen as if you are remembering something you once knew. Let's begin. You were chosen, not after you were born, not during some pivotal moment, before. Long before your first breath, your entire life was designed. Every person you would meet, every challenge you would face, every gift you would carry, all of it mapped. And I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to remember. Because right now you've experienced at least 3 of these. A skill that came unnaturally easy, like you'd practiced it in another lifetime. Knowing things seconds before they happened, not anxiety, but certainty. Meeting someone and feeling instant recognition, like coming home to a soul you've known for thousands of years. Surviving something that statistically should have ended you. Impossible timing, unexplainable luck. Knowledge you were never taught. Topics that just make sense. Wisdom that doesn't match your years. Homesickness for a place that doesn't exist. Longing for something you can't name. These aren't coincidences. They're signatures. Proof that you existed before this life. That you planned this life. That you chose this life. And for over 2,400 years, 7 ancient sources have been trying to tell you this truth. Plato documented it in 375 BCE. The Vedas described it 3,000 years ago. The Tibetan Book of the Dead mapped the exact journey. Ancient Egypt taught it in mystery schools. Kabbalah preserved it in secret. Carl Jung rediscovered it through psychology. And a forbidden manuscript from 823 AD, the Codex Anime, synthesized it all, then was hunted, burned, nearly erased. Why? Because if you knew you chose this life, you'd stop being controllable. You'd stop seeking salvation from external authorities. You'd stop living in fear. You'd remember what you've always been, an eternal soul on a deliberately designed journey. But here's what nobody tells you. Planning a life before birth is one thing. Actually living it after you forget everything, that's where it gets complicated. Because between the blueprint you created and the life you're actually living, something went wrong. And today, I'm going to show you not just the proof that you planned this life, but what happened between the planning and the living. The 3 mistakes souls make before birth. The exact points where your life diverged from your blueprint, and most importantly, how to course correct and get back on track. This isn't just about understanding your past, it's about reclaiming your future. Chapter 1. You already know this is true. Let me show you something you've felt your entire life but couldn't name. That restlessness inside you. That sense you're meant for something specific. That pull toward a purpose. Does that come from? Society didn't program it. Usually society tells you to ignore it. Be realistic. Play it safe. Your family might not understand it. Your culture might suppress it, yet it persists, like a song you can't forget but never learned. That's not hope. That's not ambition. That's your soul remembering the plan. And here's how you know this is real. You have patterns in your life that repeat with mathematical precision. Different people, different circumstances, same lesson. Maybe you keep attracting relationships where you're undervalued. Different partners, same abandonment, same wound. Why? Because you're learning something your soul chose to master in this lifetime. And it will keep presenting itself. Different faces, same essence, until you get it. Or jobs where your talents go ignored. Different companies, different bosses, same experience of being invisible. That's not bad luck, that's curriculum. Before you were born, you looked at your past lives and saw this lesson incomplete. So you designed this life to give you repeated opportunities to learn it. The relationship pattern? You're mastering self-worth independent of external validation. The career pattern? You're learning to value yourself first, trust your gifts regardless of recognition. The boundary pattern? You're breaking generational people-pleasing cycles. You chose these challenges the way a student chooses a course, not for punishment, for mastery. And here's evidence you can't deny. You possess knowledge you were never formally taught. That moment when you picked up an instrument and your fingers already knew where to go. When you started learning a language and the grammar felt like remembering, not studying. When you understood complex systems without training, it just clicked. Everyone dismisses this as natural talent. But genetics don't encode piano technique. DNA doesn't store healing knowledge. Your genes don't remember languages you've never heard. This is cellular memory, soul memory. You did this before, in another life, and you chose to bring it forward because it's essential for your mission here. Think right now. It's your unexplainable skill. That thing you're good at that doesn't match your environment, your upbringing, your formal education. That's not random. That's something you encoded before birth. Then there are the synchronicities, impossible timing that defies probability. You think of someone you haven't contacted in years. They call within minutes. You need specific information. You randomly open a book to that exact page. You change your route for no logical reason. Later, you discover you avoided disaster. You meet the exact right person at the exact impossible moment who changes everything. These moments feel different. They carry weight, meaning, like invisible hands guiding you back to a path you can't see but somehow recognize. That's because there is a path. You mapped it before you were born. Key moments, certain people, specific redirections. When you drift too far from the blueprint, synchronicities activate. Course corrections. That person who appeared at the perfect time? You made an agreement with their soul before birth. That book that caught your attention? Your higher self directing you. That inexplicable knowing to turn left instead of right. Your soul remembering the plan. And here's the deepest proof. You recognize certain souls instantly. Not everyone, but some people, the moment you meet them, you know. Reunion, not introduction. Remembering, not discovering. Or the opposite, someone triggers you immediately. Instant discomfort, but you know they're significant. Both are soul recognition. Before birth, you didn't plan this journey alone. You coordinated with other souls, your group. Consciousnesses you've traveled with across lifetimes. Sometimes as family, sometimes as friends, sometimes as enemies who teach your hardest lessons. You take turns, different roles, mutual learning. Your spouse in this life might have been your parent in another. Your rival might have been your teacher. When you meet someone from your soul group, recognition happens beneath words. That's why some relationships feel destined, because they are. You made agreements before birth, to meet, to teach each other, to grow together. Look at your life right now. The people who have impacted you most aren't random. They're contracted souls fulfilling agreements made in a realm beyond time. This is how you know. Not because I'm telling you, but because something inside you has always known. You're not learning new information, you're remembering. Chapter 2. The 7 Ancient Witnesses. Now let me show you why this truth has survived the thousands of years. 7 sources, completely independent, separated by continents and centuries, all describing the exact same process. Ancient Greece, 375 BCE. Plato documented a soldier named who died in battle, visited the space between lives, and returned with a truth that shattered philosophy. Souls standing before the fates. But the fates didn't assign destinies. They offered choices. Souls selected their next lives from possibilities. Some chose wealth and learned corruption. Others chose poverty and found wisdom. Plato wrote, "The responsibility lies with the chooser. The divine is blameless. You chose. Not the gods. You, the souls who chose wisely, had learned from past incarnations. This wasn't philosophy to Plato. This was witness truth. And he died mysteriously shortly after. The knowledge was too dangerous." Ancient India, 1500 BCE. The Vedic texts describe this with scientific precision. As a person, new ones, so the soul discards worn-out bodies and enters new ones. But deeper texts describe what happens between lives. The soul reviews every action from its previous incarnation and feels the consequences from every perspective. Hurt someone? Experience their pain. Brought joy? Feel their happiness. Not punishment. Information. Based on this review, the soul gravitates towards circumstances that balance what needs balancing. Cruel in one life? Choose conditions that teach compassion. Greedy? Select scarcity to develop generosity. This is karma, not cosmic revenge, but intelligent self-design. Tibet, 8th century. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes 49 days between death and rebirth with clinical detail. 3 bardos, 3 intermediate states. In the 3rd, Sidpa bardo, you prepare for rebirth. The soul watches potential parents and feels magnetically drawn based on karmic resonance. Unresolved authority issues. Choose authoritarian parents. Need to learn patience? Select chaotic circumstances. Breaking generational trauma? Pick a family lineage carrying that wound. The text describes the moment before birth. A flash of resistance before accepting physical limitation. Then consciousness compresses. You forget you're born. Ancient Egypt, 3000 BCE. Before birth, the soul appears before Ma'at. Cosmic order, not judgment after death, but planning before life. The Book of Coming Forth by Day describes souls reviewing multiple potential incarnations. Each life shown as a vision, challenges, relationships, duration, purpose. The soul chooses, knowing it will forget. Egyptians called this the sacred forgetting, essential for the journey to feel real. Jerusalem, 200 CE. In Kabbalah, the angel Layla has one function. Before birth, Layla tours the soul through its upcoming potential pathways. Challenges it will face. Souls it will meet. Lessons it will learn. The soul understands everything. Then, just before birth, Layla touches the soul above the lip, creating the philtrum, the indent between the nose and upper lip every human has. And the soul forgets everything. Why? Knowledge without experience is hollow. The soul must live the lessons. Kabbalists teach you can access what Layla showed you. Déjà vu, dreams more real than reality. Sudden knowings, Layla's teaching breaking through the veil. Vienna, 1950s. Carl Jung wasn't mystical, he was a scientist. But he discovered people living out patterns they never consciously chose. Archetypes, inherited blueprints in the collective unconscious. Jung proposed something radical. What if these patterns were chosen before birth? Patients described dreams and visions of their lives before conception. Selecting parents, designing traumas, programming gifts. Jung called this the unchosen life script, a paradox. The script feels unchosen because we forgot choosing it. Becoming who you truly are isn't about creating yourself. It's about remembering what you chose to be. You're listening to You Planned This Life, the blueprint you forgot. If you prefer to listen without interruption or revisit this transmission later, the full version and companion workbooks are available by tapping the Service Plus icon below. It's the orange square with the white triangle at the bottom, or through the link in the bio. 823 AD, the Forbidden Synthesis. A secret order called the Custodes Animarum spent 40 years documenting over 2,000 testimonies. Through deep meditation, people accessed memories of pre-birth planning. All described the same process: reviewing past lives, meeting councils of wise beings, choosing parents, bodies, challenges, gifts, making soul contracts, crossing the veil. The Codex Anime wasn't religious, it was systematic research, and it was declared heretical by every institution. Vatican ordered it destroyed. Islamic scholars banned it. Royal courts suppressed it. Why? Section 4 stated, "The soul chooses its suffering, and in choosing transforms all pain into purpose. No external authority can grant salvation." If people knew this, institutional power would collapse. Most copies burned, but fragments survived, hidden, preserved. 7 witnesses across 4,000 years, all saying, "Before birth, you planned this life. Show you exactly how you did it." According to the Codex Animi, every soul passes through 8 chambers before incarnation. This isn't theory, this is the process you went through. Chamber 1, the call. It begins with readiness. In the space between lives, souls exist at different frequencies. Some rest, some learn, some guide. But at a specific moment, a call goes out, not a voice, a frequency your soul recognizes. When you hear it, you know, time to grow again, time to return. This isn't forced. You respond because your soul craves evolution, like lungs crave air. Chamber 2, the Great Review. Before designing forward, you look backward completely. You experience a total review of your most recent life, often many before it. Not judgment, but radical empathy. You feel every action from the perspective of those you affected. Hurt someone? Experience their exact pain. Brought joy? Feel their happiness. This is where karma is understood. Not punishment, consequence, information, balance. The review shows what's unresolved, what lessons remain, what gifts you've developed, and what shadows you carry. Perfect preparation for what's next. Chamber 3, the Council. Now you meet beings of extraordinary wisdom, guides, masters, elders. They don't command or judge. They help you clarify intention. What did I learn last time? What patterns am I repeating? What does my soul want to master? This is where your mission crystallizes. One teaching describes a soul wanting to do deep trauma healing. The council showed 2 paths. Path 1, stability and ease, formal training, technical skill. Path 2, severe trauma, nearly destroyed, but depth to truly heal others. The soul chose path 2. Why? The first path makes me skilled but shallow. The second breaks me open, gives me lived experience. When I say, I understand, they'll know I do. It's harder, but it makes me the healer I came to be. The council helps you see the deeper implications of each choice. Chamber 4, choosing the vessel. Now the controversial part. Choosing your body, genetics, parents, circumstances. Every variable considered with precision. The soul observes potential parents, feeling karmic resonance. Which family provides the exact friction needed for growth? Why would anyone choose poverty, abuse, disability? Because the soul doesn't optimize for comfort. It optimizes for evolution. Poverty teaches resourcefulness, gratitude, detachment from materialism. Difficult parents force boundaries, break generational cycles, build inner strength.